as someone who's met, I mean, the amount of people that you've met is just staggering.
It's weird, I know.
Who is there anyone in that ballpark like Bob that has put you in awe in that way? Or is he
sure.
Is he towards the top?
Of course. I mean, Johnny Cash. I mean, that was just,
That has to be like meeting.
How'd you meet him?
Yeah.
I was really good friends. I got to be really good friends with his piano player, Earl Pubal, and we grew up not far from each other in Mississippi. He's older than I am, but we had so many things and coincidences. And we got to be very good friends through a mutual friend of ours, Eddie Betos, who was a keyboard player and was my record producer and really music director and everything with the Timber Sheiks, my band in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And really, a musical soulmate to me, a partner. And he introduced me to Earl. Man, we just hit it off. Loved him, he loved me. And when Johnny at that time was doing a lot of that, he had split from Columbia and kind of flipped them the bird.
Yeah.
And he did that record. The guy who produced it, he did the hip hop records. But
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
And
like
man,
yeah.
And record of the year, the award, all the Grammys. I mean, Johnny swept it. But he was doing a lot of that, just the guitar and his thumb. And that's all he needed, It was like the kids were coming out and going crazy. He didn't even need his band, And I think the other guys in the band were a little put out, because they were like used to being on the road with him all the time, but he was doing this solo stuff quite a bit now. And you couldn't blame him, And they said that too. They said, look, if you can get out there and do it with your thumb and a guitar, why not?
Yeah.
Go for it, buddy. And but when I met him, and I met him through Earl Pubal, his piano player, long-time piano player. And I had a really dear friend, like another soulmate too, is Joey Lauren Adams. I don't know if you know the actress, but she started Chasing Amy and, so many films. She Dazed and Confused. It's a little before your time.
Yeah.
But you might remember Big Daddy with Adam Sandler,
Yeah.
She's the mom of the big dog.
Oh, there you go.
Patrick. So, at any rate, hello, Joey. I love you dearly. But Joey, Joey loved Johnny Cash. And when she was a little girl, her parents knew she was going to be different because they said all the other little girls were swooning over Donny Osmond. Mm-hmm. But Johnny Cash would come on television, and Joey would get up and go over and kiss the TV set when she was like 3 years old. And she just loved Johnny Cash. So I had arranged with Earl to meet Johnny Cash and introduce him to Joey. And that's how I got to know him.
Wow.
And he was great. He was funny, man. He was a brilliant guy. It's just great sense of humor, too. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, in some of his songs and everything, just listening to him, it gives me chills to listen to his songs, his voice, and his whole demeanor. And I just heard so many great stories about him, too, and everything that I saw when I was around him. I wasn't around him all that much, but I've been around him several times. It lived up to it. So he was just awe-inspiring.
Yeah, there are people, I think, Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan, those are two guys that you often hear them when being described as very stoic, not very serious may not be the right word, but the humor isn't always involved. And I think it's interesting to hear that those guys were very... I
don't know about Dylan, but I know that Johnny Cash was. He appreciated the humor and everything because he was recounting this sketch one time, at Saturday Night Live when he hosted Saturday Night Live, where they had him, the man in black, and he was doing a dandruff commercial. I have to be careful wearing black all the time, and these snowflakes getting on my shoulders here. And I used to do this thing with a buddy of mine. We did the thing called Cash and the Clown.
Okay.
And he did this kind of like little high voice radio clown named Zippy Jingles. It was a radio show in New York, and I'd do Johnny Cash. So it was like the Adventures, kind of like Dylan and Cash tagging around together, but instead it was Johnny Cash and Zippy Jingles. And I just love little old Zippy. He tickles me to death. Thank you, Johnny. Beep, beep, beep. And I know that Dylan and Johnny Cash were very, very close. And Johnny Cash had helped keep Dylan on the Columbia label at the time, when his first record didn't do too well. because it had a lack of Dylan songs on it, you know. The second one did very well, and but he fought to keep him on there, and I think they were close friends and admired each other. And then I know, probably shouldn't tell this, but I know that I was told that wherever they were in the world at the time, is before everybody had cell phones, back in those days, that Bob Dylan's number of his hotel and his room, and what you say to get that room number, to talk to them on Johnny's night table, and they talked to each other every night.
Oh, wow.
They were that close.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Hey, if you like that clip, subscribe to the channel for more clips. Subscribe to our main channel where you can listen to the full podcast. Give us a follow and listen to the live performances we have there too.